This is the Effing One Podcast, Australia's only Formula One podcast with Adam and Luke.
Is that true?
What?
Are we Australia's only Formula One podcast?
Who knows?
That's fine. Let's
It'll-
run. Let's
it'll
run with
do.
it. We'll run with
Yeah.
it. G'day, welcome to Effing One, Australia's only award-winning Formula One podcast.
Take that.
What did we win? We hear you ask. The Little Aussie Battlers Podcast Award, if you must know. Sure, we're not the most downloaded. We're not the funniest. We're not the most informative, most sanitary. We're not even the most entertaining Formula One podcast. What we are is just a couple of Aussie kids trying to get a kick in a Formula One world full of snobs, billionaires, and entitled European douchebags.
Not to mention litterbugs.
Litterbugs
Fucking crofty.
and poofs. We're the podcast for the little guy and girl that's had to work hard for everything they've ever got and never had the break they've deserved. We don't care about download numbers and popularity. In fact, we'd rather you didn't listen to this podcast. So, if you're having second thoughts about continuing to listen to this podcast right now, then bugger off! This is the podcast that the Upper Coomera Daily, what a great local newspaper,
Great
Luke.
rag.
Ugh. We've got the readership, 81 people,
Soft on the ass.
said, and I quote, the Upper Coomera Daily, they said, and I quote, is the perfect balance of poor taste, inappropriate behaviour, and unwanted sexual advances.
2 stars.
It's a big rap from a quality local rag. And, by the way, big shout out to Joan, the editor, over 50 years. She's been the editor there at the Upper Coomera Daily. And on top of that, great work. She bakes a delicious award-winning lamington. Apparently the secret of a good lamington is the
Coconut.
the coconut shavings.
Can't have it too thick.
No. Yep, this is the mildly amusing Formula One podcast you've been searching for, folks. So, get comfortable, grab a warm beverage, sit down, and shut the hell up!
I think I heard the neighbours laughing at that one.
Two slightly overweight middle-aged Aussie blokes are talking Formula One. Hello, Luke.
Hello, Adam.
Hello, mate. Sorry about that.
No.
Whew.
You got
Feels
it?
good, though, doesn't it? Shouting a bit.
Once a fortnight discharge for you. Bit like mum.
It's more often than I'm having sex.
You're a married man with 3 kids. You
You
don't.
don't need to have sex anymore.
not
If you've got kids,
Yeah. Just stick a fleshlight to the side of the shower.
there's
you'll be
no
fine.
energy for anything
fair
else,
enough.
Luke.
That's understandable.
For anything else, Luke. Oh, good news, Luke.
What about a tired wristy?
Oh,
Go down to the homeless shelter. You'll get one down there.
well, this podcast's charity, Hand Jobs for the Homeless. Surely I might be able to, as part of the F1 podcast team, I might get a complimentary one.
I think so.
I think so too.
If you just sort of dress up in a bit of rags and head on down to the shelter, you'll
Pretend I'm homeless.
Yeah.
Maybe blackface a little bit.
you don't have to.
No, it's like as
But
a
you
dirt,
will.
as a cover of dirt.
Oh, it's dirt now, is it?
Yeah.
You fucking racist.
What do you? Hey, great news, Luke. Great news on this podcast. Dan Ricciardo is
On
coming.
this podcast?
Is on this podcast
Tonight?
The little
I'd given up on him.
legend.
I thought this would never happen.
The reason Formula One is so fun to watch,
So popular.
so popular. Mr. Personality, Dan Ricciardo is on this podcast. Thank you to Pete, producer Pete, everybody.
Good job,
producer
Pete.
He has been relentless in his pursuit of Dan Ricciardo.
The only good thing he's done since he buried Speckled Jim.
Well, yes. after he killed Speckled Jim, Luke.
He did kill
Don't
him.
forget, he killed Speckled Jim.
But it was just sort of a lapse of,
Concentration.
his guardianship.
Yeah.
He had to take care of Speckled Jim, and he
did.
didn't take care of him.
We left him in charge, and he murdered
but
him.
the ceremony was beautiful.
It was a lovely ceremony. We sent him off with some lovely sweet and sour chicken. He was a sweet and sour chicken, delicious.
It was delight.
Oh, wonderful. Big podcast for the USA Wrap and the Mexico GP preview. Yep, 2-in-1. It's a 2-in-1, 2 for the price of none.
I think every one of our podcasts now are 2 for 1, isn't it?
And always free.
Free.
Advertising free. The only Formula One podcast in the world advertising free.
We thought about doing one where you'd have to pay, but then just not make it funny.
Yep.
Which is just like this normal podcast.
Yeah. We wouldn't have to try very hard, would we? Just a normal podcast.
We just talk facts
Yep.
about Formula One and bore you to tears like all the other F1 podcasts.
Especially those English ones.
Oh.
Luke. Oh, God.
They got facts coming out their arse.
I'm sorry, Luke.
Does that make it Formula One great again?
No. No, it doesn't, Luke.
It doesn't.
It bores you to fucking tears. Mm-hmm. Not this podcast, Luke.
Oh, no.
We got Dan
This
Ricciardo
will
on
bring
this
you
one.
to tears
Yes, it will.
like a lemon
'Cause
biting into a fresh lemon.
Because it hurts so good. And this podcast hurts so good.
Hurts so good.
Some of the feedback that we get, this podcast, to sit through this whole thing.
Water on a duck's back.
Yes.
You can call me whatever you want,
Yep.
but we're not beige.
No, and we are never offended. So say what you will. You cannot offend us.
Try.
Yep. By the way, proudly brought to you this podcast by the effing one charity, mentioned it earlier on, Hand Jobs for the Homeless. Because why should the homeless miss out on getting a complimentary wristy from their cardboard box?
Bit of a slap and tickle.
A little slap and tickle. You're welcome, homeless people. It's part of our charity. We put a lot of time into it. We're happy to help out the homeless whenever we can, and we do. And it's great that a lot of the Formula One community is on board as well, helping out with the hand jobs.
Yep.
Just Toto's particular, his handiwork.
Very fond. Vettel also
Vettel.
loves the handiwork.
Passionate about administering a hand job.
And, surprisingly, you wouldn't recognise him in most of his get-ups that he wears day to day, but Lewis Hamilton is very, very fond of giving out a solid hand job.
And hasn't he got soft hands?
Oh, like a baby.
Like a baby. Like a little baby. And, of course, this podcast comes with a complimentary puke-free guarantee. If you hear anything
Anything at all.
anything at all that triggers your gag reflex and you feel like you need to puke in your mouth, maybe even it comes out of your mouth,
Has to come out.
that's the deal. It has to. If it comes out of your mouth, we will, as a team, Luke and I, travel to your neck of the woods, wherever you may be listening to, Azerbaijan,
Croatia. South Africa.
We had a listener.
Iceland.
Yep.
Portugal. Heaps of other countries.
Yep.
They listened to us once and never do it again. They learnt their lesson.
Correct.
But for some reason, they listen to the whole podcast.
So weird.
They're thinking, this will get better.
This-
And then it ends, dun, 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 like, shit.
wow.
I wasted a good hour and a quarter.
It didn't get better. It started bad and continued to get worse.
It's like those movies you watch and you're like, no, it's a bit shit, but I kind of want to see how this ends.
Yeah. Because it surely can't get any worse.
No, it's not. No. It's not the guarantee that Daniel Ricciardo is going to be on the podcast that people just grasp onto.
No.
Not at all.
No.
It's not why we do it.
But having said that, he is on this podcast.
He's on
so
this very podcast.
Stick around for that. Also, this podcast is also featuring Robert Kubica today.
He's our hand in the paddock.
Hand in the paddock. He's coming up very shortly. We cross live to him. He is Formula One's #1 COVID tester. A very unique way of testing for COVID, but he swears by it.
Yep.
We've also got Sebastian Vettel.
Ooh.
Yep, 4-time world champion on this little Aussie Battlers podcast, batting way above our weight category, Luke.
Of course. If we were a horse in the Melbourne Cup, we'd be shot.
Yes.
But we're not, so
But
we
we're
keep
not.
going.
So we keep on. We just get up and we keep going. And Toto Wolff is on this podcast.
Yes. This
Podcast.
very podcast.
This very...
We'll have the Austrian wonder kid.
And you may be wondering, how do we get the big names, Luke? Is there an explanation? Why do we get these...
A lot of bribery.
Oh, and
Underhanded deals,
Yes.
explicit photos that we would leak to the general population.
Correct.
Some compromising video footage of Robert Kubica.
Yes, indeed. And we are going to look at some awards, Luke. Let's get straight into it, shall we? Let's get into the awards for the USA GP. Peter's been very busy whittling. He's a fine whittler.
He's a proud whittler.
He's a proud whittler, our producer Pete. And he is relentless. He's gone out and he's gone in search of a nice bit of wood. This time, He's got a little bit of ironbark.
Oh,
Very tough wood, the ironbark. Native to this region of Australia. Particularly good in construction. Very hard, notoriously hard to whittle.
he did steal it from a construction site. So if
He
there's a
did.
house down the road that's missing a couple of 2x4s,
Yes.
Pete's got it.
He's got it, and now it's been whittled and fashioned into some awards for the FE1 podcast. So let's bring it out. Producer Pete brings out the first award. Thank you very much, Producer Pete.
You're welcome, fellas.
Here it is here. It's the...
People are going to think that Pete's not real.
He's real. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Pete, are you real?
Fuck off, I am.
It sounds just like him, though.
It sounds just like it. Gee, have you seen his meat hooks today? Bloody hell. He's been working
He's on a
out.
low-carb diet, Peter.
Is he?
Yeah, so he's just trying to show a little bit more muscle. And I'm starting to see his six-pack coming through.
He's cutting. Cutting
Yeah,
back
I don't know what he's cutting for.
for the
He's a
ladies.
svelte young man now.
Yes.
Just had his birthday a couple of days ago. Happy
He
birthday,
did. Happy
Producer
birthday. Did you enjoy the... we had a party,
Pete.
didn't
Turned
we?
48.
48.
We had pizza.
Fuck, he looks good for 48.
He does. He's moisturised a lot.
Yes.
Secret, kids, lotion.
And long showers.
Long showers with the vacuum cleaner.
And an epilady. a good industrial strength epilady to remove every bit of hair from your body.
For those of you who are unfamiliar with the epilady, it's a plucking machine.
Hair removal, strand
Yeah.
by strand,
It
individually
looks
pulls out.
incredibly painful.
It pulls every hair out of your body by the root slowly.
Yeah. It just looks like it's like if you want to be tweezed individually, it's like for so long, it's hideous.
The Taliban use it as their weapon of choice
Yes.
for torturing.
Yeah. If you want to get something out of someone, get out the epilady.
Yep.
Better than waterboarding.
Oh, God. No, just undo the buckle, drop the pants, bring out the epilady.
I'm pretty sure that's how it sounds.
I'll tell you anything.
Pluck, pluck, pluck,
I'll
pluck.
tell you anything.
And because it's so vague with where it plucks, you can go over the same patch of skin 20, 30 times. By the way, we're not sponsored by Epilady. But if you like the manscape, no, if you run over like 20 times before you can actually get every hair in that little section.
Yeah. I don't know how he does it.
But that's why he looks 48.
And his pain threshold is right up there. The awards, Luke.
He has a little ball gag in his mouth when he does it. Sorry, awards.
It's the first one. It's the Green Award, Luke. It's for, like the Edinburgh Conference, looking after where we are searching for ways to improve the environment, to lower carbon emissions. That's what this award does. It searches out for the best team that is looking after the world and the environment. Who wins that award?
Pierre Gasly.
Yes.
Gasman Gasly didn't have to guzzle much gas with an early retirement. Well done, Pierre.
Well done. The UGE Day Award.
Well,
Wasting everyone's time.
for a double retirement after Gasly, Alpine. They get the UG. They just wasted their own time. Not everyone else's as well.
Yeah. It's been a bit of a fall from grace.
And you had some good races. Esteban Ocon won a race.
Yeah.
Fernando Alonso's been strong. And you can't make a car that will last a Grand Prix.
It's so weird.
Wasting your time and money.
Very inconsistent.
You know who doesn't waste your money? Everyone podcast.
FE1 podcast. Correct. Because we don't have any money or charge any money.
That's
to
correct.
listen. It's free. Here it is. Pastor Maldonado Award, Luke, for wait.
You had it. You had it. You was on
Dangerous
the tip of-
driving?
There we go.
Oh, fuck. Sorry.
It's his first time, everyone.
My first podcast.
So, Pastor Maldonado, the Dangerous Driving Award goes to Lance Stroll, turn 1, lap 1. Turned into turn 1 like there was no one else on the track.
Yep.
Just like, I'll be fine here. And then Latifi's like, I got pinched by the Haas. No. Lance Stroll just came across like you weren't there. Sorry.
Fuck. Idiot.
But you get the Pastor Maldonado Award.
Well done to you, sir. The Lickerton Senate Award, Luke, for the best overtaking move in the GP.
Now, I did see the Daniel Ricciardo on Carlos Sainz move on lap 1, but when you look at the onboard, you can see that Sainz does let him through. It wasn't an out-and-out overtaking maneuver. So I give it to Pierre Gasly on Giovinazzi on lap 1.
He's got a double award this week.
He does. Yeah, he made a move and then fucked off for the rest of the race because his car broke. Giovinazzi licked his own stamp and sent it in the S's, and then Gasly just came straight past him again. You wouldn't think that he'd... But there he was, made the move, made it stick. Well done, Pierre. Beautiful move.
Wow.
Watch the best on boards on the F1 YouTube and check it out. It's a humdinger.
Wow. He's a talented driver.
He is.
He's bloody good. Do you think he might get a promotion after Sergio finally gives up the ghost?
You'd think so.
You reckon he might get promoted, wouldn't you? Who else have they got? There's no one in the Young Driver Academy that's any good. They've got nothing, really.
yeah.
They're not going to bring back Albon.
They're not going to bring back... Well, they are bringing back Albon.
Well, yeah, but he's not. He's going to
over
Williams.
but he's still under Red Bull.
Yeah, but you wouldn't bring him. You wouldn't promote him to Red Bull again, would you?
Wouldn't.
Tell you what,
I personally wouldn't.
There's a bloody good driver in F2 who's going to miss out on a drive next year, Luke. We touch on it every week.
Guan Yu Zhou?
No, not the 40-year-old Chinese fella who's had 20 attempts at the F2 championship. No, I'm talking about Piastri, Luke.
Oscar Piastri.
Piastri, the little Aussie trip. Now, if he wasn't an Aussie, he would be, if he was any other nationality with a bit of cash or a nationality that might be appealing to promote the sport somewhere in some neck of the woods, he would be guaranteed a Formula One spot next year. But he's an Aussie. There's no money involved. He's the best driver that we've seen since Leclerc and George Russell. He's an absolute gun. He's going to win F3, F2.
Back-to-back years.
And Renault prior to that. 3 in a row in the same year.
Kid's good.
Fucking, and he's not even got a spot for next
He'll be
year.
on the sidelines.
I need to control myself before I get a bit upset.
It's okay.
But that's what's fucking wrong with this sport, Luke. That's the problem with Formula One.
So you were saying he deserves
Money.
his spot over Nikita Mazepin?
Yes, I
Over
do.
Lance Stroll?
Yes. The billionaire boys where their dad has bought them a fucking team. It makes me angry, Luke. It should be the best drivers in the world, not the richest drivers
What
in the
about
world.
Nicholas Latifi?
What about Nicholas fucking Latifi?
Do you think Oscar's better than him?
Yes.
Of course he is.
Of course he is. He's better than get rid of Bottas and all the tired the drivers that are sticking around for way too long. Bottas. What are you just seat warming. You're just sticking around, you know. Oh, anyway. I got to move on, Luke.
You're shaking your head.
It's
You have a
annoying.
sore neck.
Next award, the Effing One Podcast Award, Luke. Making Formula One great. Who made Formula One great out
Now,
there?
we give it to the Austin track. It was so bumpy. It made it a little bit physical, made it difficult.
Yeah.
And I like that. Anything that's going to throw a spanner in the works and not give you that smooth surface that everyone really loves about it. No, give them something a little bit bumpy.
Yep.
They did turn the bumps down a little bit. They did shave a bit of the bumps off.
Oh, keep them. Keep
Yeah,
them.
more bumps.
Yeah, more bumps.
All bumps.
The better.
A whole track bumps.
Yep.
It's up to them to fucking figure it out and get driving, get fast around it.
It's like moguls, mate. Like the moguls, you know, like you got to
Should
swing.
introduce moguls.
There we go. Just a random little hill in the middle of the straight.
I've got, to go hand in hand with the F1 Podcast Award, I've got an F1 Podcast idea for making Formula One great again. Now this,
That's what we do, Luke.
some of you may think this is a bit sexist,
No, can't be.
and it is. I'm going to suggest
Pair of breasts.
pair of breasts
Yes.
being filmed
Filmed.
as you go around the track just to show how bumpy it is.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea.
You could
An onboard
for the women,
for the ladies.
for the ladies, the
Are they implants or are they natural?
natural.
Yes.
They got to have a proper bounce.
Well,
Maybe,
implants.
maybe like an 85-year-old woman.
Oh, that's
a
nice.
heavily chested, hanging, droopy set of tits. That would
brilliant.
really show. Not something perky. They won't bounce much.
No,
You need someone with a bit of ground effects.
Something that's going to flap and hit you in the face. Yes.
Someone's going to give you a black eye
Yes, Luke.
when
Yes.
going through these bumps.
Yes.
So, that's just an idea.
That's brilliant, Luke.
Where's the severe bumps around the track? We'll show
Let's
you.
find out. Let's see where Grandma June
Jiggles.
jiggles the most.
Where does June jiggle?
Yep. Let's have a look. Oh, corner 4.
Oh.
Right in the eye. That's right in the eye, that one.
She's going to be bruised.
Do we strap her on the front of Lewis Hamilton's car for a warm-up lap and just get the GoPro right from their headpiece, just pointing straight down. Maybe she's completely nude.
I can just imagine. She sits on the halo,
She's
straddles it.
She's got her legs through the halo, so it's like she's
No,
wearing
one
a,
either side.
yes.
She stretched,
It's like a G-string.
and it's just,
She's
and she's just resting gently on his helmet.
her buttocks wedged between his helmet.
Yeah,
and
buttocks.
The front of the,
Yeah, that's what I meant,
The front
buttocks.
of the front of the halo, with a
Some other
GoPro.
suction device that would be down there, but
GoPro strapped to the head.
and the tits just bounce around.
Cameras aimed down, and we've got a full view of Grandma June's
And if we
breasts.
have a female driver, you could have maybe a large fat man sitting on the halo,
That's nice.
and then you just have this jiggling man as he goes around the track.
Watch the fat.
Yes.
Watch the big ball of fat.
Yeah. See?
Hey,
How bumpy is a Formula? We'll show you. Watch
well,
this.
You're welcome, Liberty Media,
Yeah.
for the great ideas.
It's like a lava lamp.
You can thank effing One Podcast. You're stealing all our
How
ideas.
can we change this? How can we make this? How can we? All the fatties are going, no, I can't fit in a Formula. You're right, you can't fit on, but you
can't.
can sit on top of the halo.
We'll let you sit on the halo, though.
That won't break.
Nope.
Strong.
Pretty strong. Saved Lewis Hamilton's life.
Will.
You'll be able to sit in it, mate. Get in there, Terence.
Yeah, and you just jiggle for us.
Yep.
Jiggling June and Jiggling Jim.
Jiggling June and Jiggling Jim. Bring out Jiggling June.
You get to choose. Press the red button. You get to choose which one you want to go with.
Great idea. The viewers at home get to choose who they want to see. You vote on your remote control.
Both of them naked.
Perfect. Yep.
See?
Another great effing One Podcast idea. You're welcome, Liberty Media.
You're welcome,
You
world.
stole the reverse grid idea from us. You've stolen. Well, you're in the process of stealing more ideas.
Yeah. The nude section, I dare say, will come to a Dutch Grand Prix next year.
Watch this. Watch Jiggling June idea next year turn up.
Jiggling June. Jiggling June.
We'll go. Oh, great. Oh, thanks. We don't even get a credit down the bottom. Not even a little credit.
Nothing.
Yeah. Ratings go
We'll
through the roof.
We'll get a tattoo on June's tits.
Yeah. A little thank you on June's boobs. Is it time for a mid-sell? No, not yet.
No, we still got
We still got
awards.
awards, Luke. Concentrate, Luke. This is the problem with this podcast.
Sorry.
This is why we don't get many downloads. Because things take a turn for the
It's all right,
worst.
Daniel Ricciardo's coming up.
Great news,
We'll
Luke.
save the podcast.
Great news. Dan Ricciardo's on this podcast, Luke. And we've got the other award, the Speckled Gem Award, Luke. Here it is.
Oh,
Hey, this is the 3-2-1.
Speckled Jim, best on ground.
Best on ground
Giving
award.
it your best Speckled Jim. Having a crack. You may not win, but you had a go.
Like the FM1 mascot that died tragically in a dippy bird accident. Speckled Jim, the fighting cock. What a beautiful bird.
We at this podcast love a good cock, and we don't love the cock more than Speckled Jim.
Oh, who doesn't love a good cock like Speckled Jim? A beautiful, smooth cock died tragically. It's a long story. We're not going to go into it, but let's just say the mascot of this podcast.
Well, Smooth, he had, he had some dermatitis issues.
He had those little pustules that you often find on a scrotum. You know, those little round,
He had ingrown feathers.
pimply
Papules?
papules.
Papules.
Papules. He had a lot of the papules.
He also had hemorrhoids.
Yes. HIV. It's strange because producer Peter's just
He had
Tested-
COVID-18.
he's tested positive. Producer Pete, HIV. But often you'd walk in and there the bird was.
They did share dippy birds, though.
He'd be on Pete's back.
Just hammering away at his anus. That dippy bird had a lot of momentum. He had a lot of water in him.
You and I would go down to the fridge for a midnight snack.
He's just getting pummeled by dippy bird. And he had the ball gag in his
On the
mouth.
kitchen bench. And he had seed on his back to encourage him to sit there.
That's a great... it's
Oh, the memories.
Happy
Oh,
birthday again, Pete.
Happy birthday, Pete. Those memories
Yeah.
that last a lifetime.
So 3-2-1 votes for the Speckled Jim medal.
Yes, Luke, concentrate.
For for having a crack and not necessarily winning. Sometimes just best on ground. Who gave their best shot?
Yeah.
And one is 3 votes to Giovinazzi. He fought hard. He made it difficult. He went backwards and didn't score a point. But by God did he try and lost. Just like Speckled Jim. 2 votes to Daniel Ricciardo. Fighting hard, fought early, fought late, and he fought well. And the last vote to Sergio Perez. He had a bit of a water issue. Didn't have water for the race.
Oh, yeah.
The fellow struggled when he came out. But that's the kind of thing Speckled Jim would do.
Yes.
Pete would forget to put the water out for him. He'd be dehydrated when he entered, and you could taste it in the chicken.
Just a little
And we ate
shriveled.
him.
Yes.
It's a bit dry.
Dehydrated, shriveled cock. Yeah.
You don't want that.
No.
No one wants a dehydrated cock.
No. Plump cock full of juice.
The Caviar Cup.
Yeah, the Caviar Cup, Luke. I love this award because I love a billionaire who puts their son in a team, who buys a team for his kid. And this is the competition between the 3 billionaires. We've got Lance Stroll, Latifi, and
Nikita Mazepin.
Nikita Rapist Pan.
The Russian
The
rapist.
Russian rapist.
The reach around.
Yes. Now, and they are filling spots in the Formula One grid and keeping drivers.
There will be a 4th one next year, won't there?
Oh,
Guan
God.
Yu Zhou when he brings in his
Yeah.
Uber millions.
Yep. Another one. Keeping out all the talented drivers. Why not? Keep out the talented drivers. Keep in the rich boys. Sounds so. The 3-2-1. No, not 3-2-1. It's the
If they finish in front of their teammate in the race, they get a point towards the Caviar Cup.
Yes.
This race of the United States Grand Prix, none of them finished in front of their teammates, so they're all shit. They get no points.
Good.
We've got the new award we've carried over from the previous podcast, the Having a Crack Award.
Yes.
Where they get a baggie of crack delivered to them at the next Grand Prix. And the lucky recipient of the Having a Crack Award is Carlos Sainz.
Oh.
He had a crack. He didn't win, but he had a crack.
Well done.
He fought hard. He tried to get Daniel. He had a crack. And so you'll get a fresh baggie of crack from Jim, the famous...
Jim Foley.
Jim Foley.
Jim Foley.
Not our Jim Foley.
No.
Not to be confused.
No.
Sorry, Jim. Don't.
No, not you, Jim. Sorry, mate. No.
You're an above-board citizen.
The Jim Foley at Narang, 21 High Street.
Guthrie Parade. He has some of the finest crack.
He does like to mix it. He does cut it up with some other stuff, like dishwashing powder.
Omo.
But it's a good quality powder.
Yeah. You can wash your clothes with the crack. If he doesn't want to take it and get high off it, you can just wash your clothes
You can
with
blow bubbles through your nose. Who wouldn't want to do that?
And the new award, which I haven't told you about.
Oh, we've got a new award.
A new award. I just made it up.
This is nice.
This is called the Your Shit Award.
Why the R?
Because that's what you say. If you ever go to a soccer game or a football game, for those of you from Europe, when the goalkeeper kicks it out, you go, "Oh," and as he goes to kick it, you go, "Your shit,
I've not seen that, Luke.
Yeah, so the Your Shit,
but I like it.
award goes to Me Too Mazepin.
Oh, yeah.
He could get this every week.
He's shit.
But 4 laps into the race, and he was 45 seconds behind. Is he driving with the handbrake on? Fuck. 45 seconds. He didn't have an issue. He didn't get spun. That was Stroll and Latifi. He got around that corner, got around that melee. Still 45 seconds behind.
I listened to Beyond the Grid. Did you hear that interview with Mazepin on Beyond the Grid?
No.
Oh, painful. The whole way through, I was just cursing under my breath. He made it sound like he earned his spot in Formula One. I almost died of laughter. I was on the floor. My
It's
wife
very
had to
rare
pick me up.
you'll die of laughter on the
Yes,
on that
on any
particular
effing
Beyond
one,
the Grid
on
podcast.
any Formula One podcast. Yeah, that was quite. He honestly thinks he deserves to be in Formula One. Quite hilarious.
You can think that.
What a Russian rapist.
Let's have a look at the championship.
Yes.
So as we know, the winner was Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, and Sergio Perez, the top 3. Now the championship, Max Verstappen. This is the legitimate championship we're talking about, not our third championship, which we'll get onto shortly. Max Verstappen on 287.5 points, Lewis Hamilton on 275.5 points. Then there's Valtteri 185, Sergio Perez 150, Lando 149, just 1 point behind Sergio Perez, the Tijuana Tussler. Charles Leclerc 128, Carlos Sainz, his teammate 122.5, Daniel's climbing up slowly with 105 points. Pierre Gasman Gasly 74, Fernando Alonso, the Fonz on 58, Esteban French Stick Ocon 46, Sebastian Fingerboy Vettel, he's on 36, Lance Stroll, Daddy's boy, he's on 26, Yuki Swery Tsunoda 20 points, Boy George Russell 16, Nicholas Latifi, he's on 7, Kimi Last Lap Raikkonen 6, Antonio Pizzaman Giovinazzi on 1, Mick Schumacher, Robert Kubica, and Nikita Mazepin, the junior Mick Schumacher, Robert Hand in the Paddock Kubica, and Nikita Me Too Mazepin, all on 0 and nothing. The Constructors' Championships?
Yes.
Mercedes 460.5, Red Bull 437.5, then down to McLaren and Ferrari 254 to 250.5, only 3.5 points in the battle for third in the championship. Then Alpine 104, Alpha Tauri 94, Aston Martin 62, Williams 23, Alfa Romeo 7, Haas 0.
Hopeless. I tell you what, Luke, there is some wonderful side stories going on with this championship. So we've got Ferrari and McLaren fighting for that third spot. That is very close. Ferrari looks good. They've got some updates. They seem to have got a fresh wind behind them. What are your thoughts? Can McLaren steal it? It's going to be tough.
Unless they're going to bring something new to the table in the next few races, I can't see them keeping Ferrari behind, especially Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc's just he's above and beyond a very, very good driver.
He's good, isn't he?
And, McLaren are sort of competing with both cars up there now. Daniel sort of picked his game up.
He has. He stepped up.
And
seems like he's found his groove.
And Carlos Sainz is thereabouts.
Yeah.
He's making it difficult for him. So we need the McLaren team needs to finish ahead of these Ferrari boys, and Charles Leclerc is, but he's a very good driver.
I think Dan's stepped up. I think he may have finally found his feet.
You reckon?
The feel. I'm going to tip him from just beating.
You're going to put
Norris.
in a tip?
No, not actually put in some tips, Luke. Don't be silly. But I'm going to tip him to beat Norris for the rest of the season. I just think Dan's turned the corner.
I'm waiting for a couple of consecutive good.
Well, we can ask him about it. He's on this very podcast, Luke. Dan Ricciardo's on this podcast.
Yep.
Another interesting story would be the title battle, Luke. 12 points. Mercedes have had a couple of missteps. Red Bull are stepping up. It seemed like Mercedes, Hamilton got off the blocks pretty quick, looking good, took the lead, but it was the pit stops. That's where it went wrong.
Well, yeah, it was interesting that Mercedes didn't sort of pit early, like try and do the undercut on Red Bull like they did in the first pit stop. Get close, do the undercut, get in front, and then just fight him with some used tyres, just like Max had to do. But they didn't. They stuck to their plan. They caught up to him after a while, but Max had kind of saved his tyres a bit. He didn't need to push that hard, and then they had a. I don't think, even if Mick Schumacher wasn't in the picture in terms of giving Max the DRS, that Lewis would have caught and overtook him. I don't think that was going to happen on the last lap. But, it's a good championship, nice and close.
Real close.
Nice and tight.
It does feel like the next few races are crucial. Like we've got 3 in a row coming up. I mean, at the end of that 3, I think we'll have a much clearer picture.
Mexico.
After Mexico.
Brazil.
And
Qatar.
After Qatar, I think it could be all over. If Red Bull can just stay and, have a couple of good races here, it could be insurmountable.
Yeah.
It could be more than a win. It could be like 20-odd points.
Now, if you're Red Bull and Sergio Perez is leading the Grand Prix in Mexico, do you tell him to get past and let Max...
Well, I don't, but tell you who does. Christian fucking Horner.
Would they be able to get out of Mexico unscathed if they told him to move aside?
Jeez, it would be horrible, wouldn't it?
I have no doubt Sergio would do it, But he knows that everyone in that team may die.
But imagine Sergio, the fight within himself to take the orders over the. Imagine what he's thinking when he hears the order.
It's Could you just let Max pass, please?
It's Christian Horner here. Do you mind pulling over in front of all your fans and letting...
Christian Horner. Wah, wah, wah.
There's going to be a riot in the streets of Mexico City, Luke.
Yeah, well. But I wouldn't. I'd let him race.
I think so.
It's a home race.
It's a home
You can't give up a home race.
But of course they're going to leave. They're going to get, Verstappen the win. But not very nice.
Maybe some more, grid penalties may come into play with some dodgy engines. You never know.
True. Who's going to win the World Championship in terms of Constructors' Championship, Luke? 'Cause that's pretty close.
I think it'll be Mercedes.
Yeah.
I think Bottas is just helping out a little bit more than Sergio is.
Yeah. Although Sergio, traditionally on this home track, is pretty good. He might...
So Valtteri's 35 points ahead in the championship.
Yes.
But it will be tight, nice and close. As I said, Mercedes 460 and Red Bull are 437.
Yeah.
Both got half points there. I want to talk about... They gave Driver of the Day to Max Verstappen. The people of F1, the people around the world voted for Max Verstappen as their Driver of the Day. Fastest lap, Hamilton 138.485. Fastest pit stop, Ferrari with the 2.24. I don't think they've done a fastest pit stop in a long time. Since Schumacher, I think.
Really?
I don't know. I'm just making it up.
No, you're probably right, Luke.
But they, whenever Felipe Massa had an opportunity to win a world championship in Ferrari, they sure fucked those pit stops up. They left a fuel rig in his fucking car.
Oh, man.
The tips. We've got some tips. Cliff, 15. Pat, 13. Marcus, 16. Jimmy, 12. Myself, 15. And Pete and Adam on 12. Some great tipping ideas for the random final tip. You get an extra 5 points if you get the bonus absurd tip.
Yep.
And it was one of them was 2 teammates will take each other out of the race. Didn't happen.
Oh,
Pile up turn 1. Didn't happen.
okay.
Seb finally tests positive for COVID after all the testing. Funny. Didn't happen.
No.
Lewis wears normal clothes when he arrives at the track on race day. Now, that's never going to fucking happen.
No, it's not.
I saw him on the cover of some magazine recently. I think it was a Wall Street Journal. And that transition is coming along pretty good. I think he's going into the Prince phase of his life. Or the artist formerly known as Prince.
All purple.
Very see-through.
Yeah.
And the stance is very...
Very
erotic.
effeminate. Yeah.
Turd Championship.
I love the Turd Championship.
Explain the Turd Championship.
The Turd Championship, Luke, is often we celebrate the best in Formula One. And often we overlook the worst, the shittest drivers. Not here at FM1 Podcast, Luke. We celebrate shit. We celebrate mediocrity.
We turn the world of F1 upside down.
Yes. Nothing about this podcast speaks more about turds and being rubbish. So we know all about being turd-like.
As Roy and HU say, we plod through the solidly backed up stoolage of the week.
Yes.
That's what they say.
That's exactly right, Luke.
And the Turd Championship, normally it's a very close championship, closer than the World Championship. But since the World Championship is close, it's now made the Turd Championship wide open.
See, I would think Latifi would be right deep in the shit.
You'd think so.
Is he up to his neck in it?
He's top 3.
He'd have to be, wouldn't he?
But when you have a team like Haas...
Oh, of course.
And you have Me Too Mazepin just
Me
storming away 45 seconds behind after 4 laps.
Drowning in poo.
In his own turd, his own
Feces.
excrement. So Me Too Mazepin is on 271 negative points. So we have the point system. It's the exact opposite of the F1 system. So if you get a race win, 25 points. But if you come dead last, negative 25 points, works its way up. 18, 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1.
Got an idea.
Oh.
Here's an idea for making Formula One great, Luke. Like English Premier League, the lowest 3, or the 1, 2, 3 of the Turd Championship get dropped down to Formula 2.
Oh.
The top 3 of Formula 2 get promoted.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. So at the moment, it would be Mazepin, Schumacher, and Latifi
Yep.
all getting demoted
Correct.
back to F2.
Piastri.
I think Mazepin should go to F3.
Oh, he needs to go right
Just a
back.
double.
If you win the Turd Championship, you go all the way back to F3.
You might have to go back to racing karts.
Correct. Back to go-karts.
Yep. You can buy your way into go-karting.
Yep.
Then it's Swery Sonoda. He's in 4th. Then Boy George Russell. Last lap Raikkonen. Ocon. Vettel. Giovinazzi. Stroll. Alonso. Bottas. Gasly. Verstappen. Oh, leader of the championships on negative 55 points.
Wow.
Then we have the chosen one, Charles Leclerc, negative 55. Then Perez, Hamilton, Norris, Kubica, Ricciardo, and Sainz. Sainz and Ricciardo still on single digits for their third championship. But so technically, going by this third championship, Carlos Sainz is the best driver in Formula 1.
Okay.
Ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. Robert Kubica, third best driver. He only drove one race. But
Third best.
going by the third championship,
Yep.
he's third best ahead of Chuck Norris, and Lewis Hamilton is in the top 5.
Perfect segue, Luke. We are going to catch up with the man himself, the COVID tester. Love Robert Kubica. Love everything about Robert. What he brings to F1. It's unique. It's one-armed.
What he brings out of the drivers.
What he brings out, often it's a lot of excrement on his fingers when he's testing
Sometimes
them.
COVID.
Sometimes a lot of COVID. But he is effing one. He's Formula One's COVID tester. He's effing one's COVID tester. Let's cross over to him. And we got that jingle. Let's play that jingle.
Geen in the park, geen in the park, it's geen in the park with Robert Kubica. Robert Kubica. Hey, hey.
Hey, hello, it's me, Robert Kubica.
Hello, nice to see you, fellas. Hello.
Robert.
Hello, look, nice to see you. I have been very busy.
How's Mexico?
I love the Mexicans.
What's your favourite part about Mexico?
Oh, the anus. I love. Oh, yes. No, the country. Lovely country, too. I love it. Lovely peoples. Lovely food. Traditions. I love the people. So friendly. I love it. I've been out on the donkey.
Now, you've tested every driver.
Every donkey in town. Every driver. Yes. There's not a donkey I have not tested this week.
And how are the donkeys tested? They all
They
good?
are good, look. Yes. Yes, the diet, they need the more fiber. When I do the test, of
Bit
course,
A stool?
not only do I test for COVID, but I'm also making sure that the plumbing is working.
That's good.
So,
little
yes.
prostate check for
The prostate, I say, please cough, Mr. Donkey. Yes, and then I test. I smell. The same as a human being. You do have to test. You have to be consistent, look. You
course.
You can't test a
You have a
human
very sensitive
and a donkey
nose.
differently because they would feel excluded and they would call me a racist. The donkey says to me, "Hey, you are racist," and I say, "No, shut up. I'm not racist. It's not racism.
Polish
you're a different
don't-
animal."
Polish don't get a good rap, really.
No, we are not always. We don't like to rap. We like folk music. I smell. This donkey has been eating lots of hay today. I better test. Nope. You're free to go, donkey. You're okay.
There you go.
Oh. The donkeys are fine. Look, the COVID testing has been good in the paddock. Everybody is healthy. No problems at all.
I would like to just ask you one question.
Yes.
So you've
Sebastian Vettel? Yes,
No,
he
no,
has
no.
been bothering me for testing all day.
you've tested a lot of, you've tested Fernando Alonso,
Yes.
Sebastian Vettel,
Yes.
Lewis
Very
Hamilton.
loose.
Lewis
Loose
Hamilton,
anus, yes.
another loose one.
When you say people's name, I just think straight away anus.
You
They're-
think
they're
I-
particular anus.
they're multiple world champions. You've tasted them.
I have tasted every world champion's anus.
When you taste Max Verstappen, do you taste a world champion?
And you know what I taste, Luke? I taste a little Dutch douchebag. A little Dutch douchebag.
Well, this douchebag, does he taste like he'll win a world
like
championship?
a winner, Luke. Does he taste like a winner? No, he does not taste like a winner.
Who tastes like a world champion?
Dan Ricciardo. Dan Ricciardo has the taste of a winner. Yes, it is a fresh, sweet, delicious taste of winner. I like to taste it. I know.
So out of all of the testers, you...
I have my favorites. Well, you have children. You don't have children, look, but
No, I don't.
But I have children's, and they say that you don't have a favorite. The same is said for COVID testing. They say you don't have a favorite anus to test.
But you...
I disagree. Secretly, I don't tell the driver this. I do not ever tell the driver.
You can tell the world no one's listening.
Good. This is a podcast with how many listeners?
7.
7 peoples. It's unlikely it get back to driver. No. Unlikely.
They're not listening.
I have my favorites. I never tell them. But I will go up to Sebastian and he will say,
Hiya, I'm about the weather. Do you like to test my anus?
That sounds very much like Sebastian Vettel, actually.
yes. And I say to him, yes, you are probably my favorite. I lie.
You've got your fingers behind your back.
I have my fingers crossed.
Not your gammy hand, your other one. That
Yes.
You can actually twist your fingers around.
Yes, the one that works, yes. But, yes, I have my favorites, look. I'm not going to tell you, but let's just say Dan Ricciardo, one of my favorites. Carlos Sainz, another favorite one.
Oh, really?
Yes. George Russell,
That's purely for pleasure.
yes. He's like a little 10-year-old female. It's a little... Alexander...
10-year-old female.
Alexander Albon was my favorite last year. Tasted like green curry. Delicious. Green curry. I love Thai green curry. Yes, look, very, very busy, very popular, doing very hard work. I'm working for Effing Fun Podcast. Can I just tell you, this podcast is now in the top 10 of all podcasts in Poland.
Excellent.
I know.
Thank you for raising awareness about our podcast
You're
and
very-
getting it out there.
You're very, very welcome. My wife is a big fan of yours as well. She is a big fan of Effing Fun Podcast. She does not understand a word you say, but she loves the sound of your voice. In particular, your voice.
Really?
Yes. She thinks you sound like a constipated gnome.
Ah.
She says, I like the guy who sounds like constipated gnome.
How would she say that in Polish?
Du pachen, the gnome ne pashlap.
Ah.
The pashlap.
There you go. Write that one down, everyone.
Yeah, pashlap. Yes. It's a you're a very popular man, look.
Thank you. And it's hello out there, Mrs. Kubica.
Mrs. Kubica, my lovely cunt.
You're beautiful.
My beautiful,
Smooth.
smelly cunt. Yes. Thank you for teaching so many wonderful English words. Smelly cunt mean beautiful wife.
Smelly guy.
I can't believe. Thank you so much. When are you going to bring out your Effing Fun Podcast translator app?
Oh, that's not for a while.
No, okay.
No.
All right.
Pete's working on it.
Yes. Producer Peter. I love
Producer
him.
Peter.
He is such a great guy.
He connects us every week.
He's funny, yeah? He have a small head and a
Very
big body.
small head.
Very something went wrong in the womb.
Your mum clenched a little bit too much.
They put the forceps.
birth.
They grabbed the forceps, grabbed him by the head. No, should have grabbed him by
They
shoulders.
grabbed him by the feet, actually, and his head got stuck for about 4 hours.
Yes.
He just coughed
Cough.
because he just remembered that. He's having a flashback.
Fantastic, guys.
Thank you, Robin Kubica.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. I have
luck.
to go and, oh no, it's Sebastian Vettel. He wants me to, oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, I'll see you. I'm coming, Sebastian Vettel, I'm coming. Oh, God, no, please. No, not again. Bye. See
Bye.
you, guys. Robert Kubica. Love
Great
that guy.
man comes great responsibilities.
Bloody great guy. Is this a good, you know what's missing in this podcast? We've had a lot of highlights, Luke.
Have we?
A lot of highlights.
What were they?
Speckle Jim. The old stories that we have loved to sit back and relax and chat about. I love that story. Oh, Grandma Joan on the front of the effing one car. Grandma
Jiggling June.
Jiggling June. That was a great idea, Luke. Gosh, you've got some great ideas when it comes to Formula One.
If it comes to elderly,
When it comes to the elderly and
And
Formula One ideas,
I can bring them together
it's a natural.
like paper and glue.
It's a marriage made in heaven. You old people in Formula One.
Yeah. As I age every day, I just think about how I can incorporate the saggy old dementia-filled women and men of the world and put them into something a little bit more exciting.
Yes.
Who wouldn't want to sit their clam on top of Lewis Hamilton's head as they jiggle round the Austin Grand Prix?
Who wouldn't?
Joan does.
Joan would love to see that.
And
We'd love to see.
Jim does.
And Jim.
Jim's little sack just teabagging Valtteri Bottas's helmet.
Oh, gargling as he drives around.
See, Toto Wolff thought of the idea. He just passed it
did.
on. Like, listen, I can run with this.
It's a good idea. Well, it
Anything
came.
with balls in the face, it's got Toto down to it.
Toto loves to train deep in the gym, doesn't he? With some ball bag in the face action.
He does.
Great time for a mid-cell, Luke. Oh, what a podcast! Ha ha! So much more to come as well, Luke.
I know.
So much more. We've got Dan Ricciardo on the podcast.
This very podcast.
He's on hold. He's on hold. Toto Wolff is coming up. Sebastian Vettel is coming up. Punching way above our weight, Luke, this podcast. And an update from the Narang GP, also known as the Monaco of the Gold Coast. If you've ever been to Monaco, it's the opposite of it. It's everything that Monaco isn't. There's no toffee nose, stuck-up bullshit. But there's also a lot of drugs, a lot of prostitution, and a lot of dirt and grime. Got any news on the Formula One front for the F1 podcast?
F1 News.
F1 News, well, for the Narang GP.
For the Narang Grand Prix.
Yeah, do you have anything?
Yes. It's kind of like an on-track, off-track event.
Okay.
We'll actually be running, it's on the Hill section near the nude section.
Yeah.
Just opposite that. We're going to have, it's for our cerebral palsy listeners. They're going to be running up the hill.
Yep. Yep. You're so mean.
Still don't
Yep. Will they be allowed to have walking frames?
No. Fucking hell, that's a bit of advantage. So they run up the hill,
Yep.
just past the nude section. Hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out. It's
I'm
not as
listening.
absurd as you think. It's like a relay.
God.
There's more than... There's more.
This is pre-race, obviously.
Oh. It's kind of like the disabled decathlon.
Yes. Yeah.
And so the cerebral palsy person runs up to the top of the hill. Could take a walk.
Could take a bit. We might have to cut to an ad break. We'll have to. This is a good time to get a word from our sponsor.
Then at the top, they tag up. And then you've got someone in a wheelchair coming down the hill. And it's a constant
You
cycle.
made me cough then. That was you. That was all you're doing. Oh.
It's a COVID laugh. And then he basically, when he gets to the top, tags up, pushes the bloke in the wheelchair down the hill. And there's a ribbon at the end. The first team that breaks the ribbon gets a free paddock pass.
Oh. You know who's going to be stealing this idea? Liberty
Liberty
fucking
Media.
Media.
But they'll be running up Eau Rouge. We'll just cut to commercial break. They're halfway up Radion.
And will we get any thanks for it?
No!
No.
We're getting
No, we bloody won't.
Oh.
They won't. Oh.
So it's the cerebral palsy followed by the wheelchair. It's like a biathlon kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Genius.
that's the.
Thank you for the.
Because we want to be all inclusive. We don't want to just be able-bodied weekend.
No, who wants to see that, Luke?
No.
Is that entertaining?
We want to see cerebral palsy.
You could even put bets on them, couldn't
Run
you?
up. You see them in the Olympic Games.
Yep.
We've got them riding around tracks.
Yep.
No, get them running.
Get
Get
'em
them
running.
running uphill.
Get them moving.
Tag up.
Best
push
thing-
him down the wheelchair.
Best thing for your body when it's not working well.
It's like a one-man bobsled.
Keep moving.
Yeah.
People. Sponsored by Betfair,
Yep.
where you can put a couple of bob each way on Jeremy with the limp. Get Get some good odds. That's wonderful news, Luke. Thank you so much. That's the update from the Meringue GP.
Sorry.
Such a wonderful. I'm sorry. We're sorry. We're very sorry. If there is anybody with cerebral palsy listening to this podcast,
Feel free. Fill out the entry form.
fill out the complaint.
Pair up. No, there won't be a complaint.
Oh,
We're
no.
including you.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, feel free to sign up to be part of the race.
That's right.
And if you are offended, there is a feedback
There's
document.
a hotline.
You can download.
What's your email?
Yeah. It's a very lengthy document, and
Take 4 to 5 weeks.
we have to be faxed to you.
Yeah.
So find your closest fax machine, and we'll send it over to you. So,
I nearly shot myself.
oh jeez. I think it's time for Luke's rant. After that, we've had a bit of a laugh. It's time to get serious, Luke, because we love Luke's rant, where you get fired up and you tell it like it is, and you lay down the law. You don't shy away from calling a spade a spade. Feel like unleashing?
Sure.
We need a jingle.
No, we don't.
All right. All right.
So I'm going to go with the honourable mentions first.
Sure.
Ben Stiller and Little Stiller.
Oh.
They were there. Congratulations now for the others, for being a bunch of childish twats.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people on the grid before the race. A lot of celebrities don't want to talk to Martin Brundle. But Ben Stiller was happy to have a chat.
Yeah.
Bit of a chin wag. Gave him everything. Gave him all the time in the world. It's very good, very refreshing. Dishonourable mentions might refer to some of the other people he tried to talk to. And fuck them indeed. Giovinazzi's engineer. Honourable mention. Now, I wish he would go to Mercedes and give Lewis Hamilton the what's for. When Giovinazzi went off track, I think it was with Alonso, he went off track and then maintained the position. He was told to give the position up by his engineer.
Yep.
Giovinazzi got on the blower and said, no, he pushed me off track.
Yep.
And Giovinazzi's engineer said, give position back now, no discussion, give it back now.
Oh.
So refreshing. An
That's
engineer
nice,
that's
isn't
got a bit of fucking bite to him.
Yeah.
He goes, no, what did I fucking say, cunt?
Yeah.
Give the position back.
Yeah. Or get Guangzhou in here instead.
That's right. So get him over to Merck. Let him get to deal with the douche canoe.
Yeah.
I think it's a great job.
Great
very,
idea.
Very good job, Mr. Giovinazzi's engineer, whoever the fuck your name is. Shaquille O'Neal was there.
Was he?
He was.
I'd love to see him fit.
He
into
brought
a-
up the trophy.
Could he sit in a Formula
He
1
was
car?
massive.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
But for Shaq, for just being Shaq,
Yeah.
you get an honourable mention. Look at the size. He's next. There's
Look at the. Oh, Jesus. Look at the size of him.
Lewis Hamilton. I'm showing Adam a picture of Lewis
Yeah.
Hamilton and Shaquille O'Neal side by side.
He's
And
giant, isn't he?
Shaquille is not on a step,
No.
and he's still taller.
Towers over
Lewis, Lewis is a diminutive man.
the top dais. Jeez Louise.
So yeah, Shaquille O'Neal just for being Shaq.
Yep.
He's a good man. He dresses up in his good jeans.
Yep.
Well, loose jeans and a
Yes.
loose t-shirt. When you're
Yes.
up on the podium, everyone's normally suits, boots, fancy dresses.
Couldn't shoot a free throw to save his life. Never did. Always had the one hand shot. Never just had it. His hands were so big. He never had the second hand
He
supporting
couldn't fit it on the ball.
Couldn't fit it on.
He should teach the one-handed thing to Kubica.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
what
that would be ominous.
See, that would have been handy.
Ricardo and Sainz for getting argy-bargy. Honourable mentions. Good to see a bit of tete-a-tete. And
Yeah.
Sainz said it was a little bit deliberate. But also Sainz said after the race, he goes, I'd do the same thing. Daniel Ricciardo basically just put a little bit of gas at the rear of the car and it stepped out a bit, which made contact with Sainz, kind of put him in a place
Yep.
and just go, hey, you're not going to come around here.
No.
Sainz backed off, went
Yep.
wide. He's going, that was a bit deliberate.
Yep.
But it's good to see wheel-to-wheel racing.
You like it. I like
Oh,
it.
who doesn't? And also, Giovinazzi himself. Sensational defence.
Yeah.
It was a difficult one to overtake. Multiple world champions out there were Vettel and Alonso struggled to overtake him. He didn't make it easy. He fought hard for his 11th place and no points. But 1 point in the Turd Championship. Dishonourable mentions. This is your favourite part.
I love this. When you discharge.
TV director.
Oh, fuck.
You think, okay, we've had it.
Get me started.
I thought we got rid of people who don't know how to show what the fuck's going on. So we're watching Max drive around whilst battles are going on. Sainz v Ricciardo Part 2. Again, we're waiting for a replay. The gaps are there for all to see. Be smart and do your fucking job properly. Mm-hmm. You can see it. You go, look, they're within a second or within half a second. Cut to them. No. Let's just watch Max drive around saving his tyres for when Lewis comes back at him. No. Show the fucking... Don't just wait for a replay. We can see what fucking happened because the timing hasn't changed and the gap's increased.
We want to see the Dutch douchebag driving by himself.
Boring. Come on, TV director. Pull your fucking finger out. Celebrities and their goons. Now, some celebrities are good. They'll have a chat like the Ben Stiller.
Yep.
Good to see. And there was a...
Who did you spot, Luke?
Serena Williams was there.
Serena. Oh, I love a bit of Serena
She
action.
ignored it. She didn't ignore it when she fucked up the podium celebrations in Monaco when she decided to tell Max what to do when he won the Grand Prix. And David Coulthard asked her, what would you give advice to Max?
said,
What fucking kind of advice would you give him?
She said, P.S. he's a douchebag.
But she waved the flag pathetically.
Yep.
But
Terrible.
she was there. She completely fobbed up Martin Brundle. But the celebrities, get over yourselves.
Yeah.
You've just shown the world the tool you are when you can't profit from it. Just let a simple British man ask you a silly question about a sport you know nothing about and bore us for 30 seconds. To be fair, the young lady Megan Thee Stallion, that was the lady who had a Cash App advertisement on her derriere.
Oh.
She seemed happy to talk to Martin. She was like, yeah, I'll answer a couple of questions. And then her bodyguard's pushing Martin out of the way, pushing the cameraman out of the way.
Come on.
And then some dirty douchebag,
Come on.
I'm not, he kind of looked like a bit of a fake Eminem, comes up and puts Martin in his place. He goes, no, you don't do that.
Nah.
And Martin goes...
Not Martin. Not our Martin.
Martin Brundle just goes, well, I just did.
Well.
Beautifully said. Well, but... What I want him to go next time, because he was chatting to Ben Stiller, and if anyone knows the movie Billy Madison, goes, check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
Oh.
That's what he needs to say.
Great reference.
Put them in their place.
Put him in place. Correct.
Serena, as we know, you can take airtime in the Monaco Grand Prix, interviews and poorly wave the checkered flag, but you wave Martin Brundle away with such a plum, unplanned interview, not your thing? Fuck off. Alpinus, whatever you want to call them. What the fuck? You can't make a car that handles the bumps. 2-time world champion, a Grand Prix winner in your stable, and your car was anything typical of a French team surrendering for the checkered flag. Best to wave the white flag first, hey? Yeah. And on Alpine, Alonso pushing Raikkonen off track, then running himself deep off track on Giovinazzi, then trying to keep the spot. I don't think so, Alonso.
No.
You know better than that.
Yep.
Latifi. And Stroll.
Laquifi.
Billionaire boys. Battling out for bugger all. Comparing Daddy's checkbooks at turn 1, Latifi blamed the Haas for squeezing, but in all honesty, Daddy's boy driving turn 1 like there's no one else on track. And I have one more thing to say before we wrap up.
Here we go. Here comes the big one. Wind it up, big fella. Wind it up.
Fox Sports.
Yeah.
They are the broadcaster that hosts the F1 race in the Australian broadcasting here.
Yes.
They claim that Formula One is 6G in every corner.
What?
6G.
What the
6 times the gravitational force on every corner.
Every corner.
Every corner. Then they proceed to use a V8 engine noise for the promo.
Oh.
Come on, Fox Sports. 6G in every corner? You're fucking kidding yourself. And then using the V8 engine just to make it sound a little bit more punchy. Don't have to sell it, mate. Just show the footage. Show what is actually happening.
Who's running this shot?
Fucking, it's fake news. They're trying to get you with clickbait and bullshit.
It's a shamble.
The
Absolute.
racing's good enough. You
It's
don't
a
have to.
joke.
Yeah, see?
Fucking joke, Luke.
See? It's become my rant to you carrying it on.
I do apologise, Luke. It's rubbing off on me.
Just keep that to yourself.
Okay. I'll rub off later, unless you want to help me out with that.
That's it. I'm done.
Luke's rant.
Fuck
wow.
Fox Sports.
That is...
Wow, it's a highlight of the podcast. Hope you enjoyed that. Luke just loosening the belt, dropping the trousers, and laying a big old-fashioned, dirty, angry nard on Formula One.
That's what I do.
It's time to preview the Mexico Grand Prix, Luke. It's coming up very, very shortly. We love Mexico. Love the Mexicans, love the food, love the people, love the culture. And it's tradition here at FE1 Podcast. We do like to tip the cap, to honour, to celebrate the country, the host race, and their traditions and their customs, Luke. It's what we do. And nothing says we respect you, country of origin of the Formula One race, than dressing up. We love to dress up. Respectfully, of course. We don't like to offend. That's not what we do, Luke.
No.
In no way is this podcast offensive.
Huh?
It's dull, yes. It's boring, correct.
Of course.
It's pointless,
As is tradition.
but it is, with all regard, very respectful.
Oh, yes. It's the one thing we have.
Is a lot of respect. So, what we've done this week is we have got Peter, as he does traditionally every week, to whittle some outfits of the country, the host race.
Made these out of ironbark.
He did indeed. He actually went and sourced some renewable ironbark, which had fallen from a tree, from a construction site. I did say tree, but I meant construction site.
Well, it did come from a tree before.
Originally, it came from a tree, but it has most recently come from a house that
Pete rescued it.
desperately needs.
It was an orphanage.
Yes.
It was being built down the road.
It is a problem for the kids. They're in high risk of that building being, in the next storm, they will probably all die. But what we have is some wonderful outfits to show for it. And who doesn't like dressing up? And it makes sense on a podcast, doesn't it, Luke? So this week, he has fashioned a couple of wonderful Mexican outfits. And yes, let's pop ours on, shall we?
Okay.
Let's get into it. Oh, there it is. It's tight. It's a tight one. We are a couple of pinatas. We are a couple of... I'm a donkey and you are a sheep.
Oh.
Yeah. So what we might do as consolation for the kindergarten that is about to collapse, we might actually have the kids come over and give us a whack. What? Whack us off. I mean, whack us with a stick. They can whack us, and the lollies will spew out. Well, it may not be lollies.
It's edible?
It might be some kind of cream de
Someone's going to spew, and we're going to have to go and clean it up in Iceland.
This is where the puke-free guarantee comes back to kick you in the ass. Because people in Iceland are vomiting in their mouth. And that takes a lot for someone from Iceland to vomit in their
Especially
mouth.
what they eat.
Because they are sick, disturbed people. The Scandinavians.
Guggling.
Their gag reflex is something that I've never experienced before.
They've eaten things that I wouldn't dare imagine.
Pickled fish, Luke. Who eats that?
Fish jerky.
The Scandinavians.
That's right.
Fish jerky? The Scandinavians. Bits of whale meat. Scandinavians.
And Japanese.
Yeah. This podcast, is it palatable for them?
Just.
Barely.
Barely. They have a weak gag reflex, especially when they're choking on so much penis. Hello to our Iceland listener.
Big fan. We love you. Hope you're enjoying the podcast. Iceland, in Reykjavik, capital of Iceland.
Well done.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Did I just pull that out of the hat?
You did.
Sure did. Okay, so let's take a look at the race track, Luke, the times of the race, the setup, who's favourite, who won last year. You've got the inside info, Luke. You are the man with the info. Tell us about this track in Mexico.
So it's a 4.304 kilometre track, 71 laps of the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez circuit. First Grand Prix 1963. Race distance 305.354 kilometres. Lap record a 1 minute 18.741 in 2018 with Valtteri Bottas. The tyres we're going to be using this weekend is a C2, C3 and C4, the middle range of the 5 compounds that they have in Pirelli. The weather, 13 to 24, fine all weekend, no chance of a rain it seems, which is a shame. Last time we were there, which was not last year, the year before, it was won by Hamilton ahead of Vettel and Bottas. Pole was Verstappen with a 1 minute 14.754, which I think may have been Verstappen's first pole position.
Okay.
I could be incredibly wrong. Most times I am. and that's what I do.
Yeah.
I like being wrong.
Yes, you do it so well, Luke. You're so convincingly wrong.
Yes. So the race times here for the Mexican Grand Prix. We're going to Fiji.
Yes.
It's
I love Fiji.
7 a.m.
Oh, Bula Bula.
Bula Bula.
Is that what they say?
Yes.
What's the capital of Fiji? Suva.
F. Oh,
No? Is that right?
capital letter.
Oh.
F. But yes, I believe it is Suva.
Okay.
Kava, big drink.
Kava. Oh, they love kava.
They do. So it's 7 a.m.
Yep.
Monday morning.
Yep.
Check it out.
That's good. That's good time.
It's good for them. I believe it'll be the same time we had the United States Grand Prix. 8 a.m.
They don't normally wake up until lunchtime, though. They like to
They have
sleep.
to
They're a
record.
sleeping people.
They record their
yeah.
the Formula One races. Where are we? Auckland, 8 a.m.
Yep.
Melbourne and Sydney. You'll be checking this out at 6 a.m.
Yes. 6.
For us, it's 5 a.m.
Okay.
because we're an hour behind
Yep.
because those boys have their... So over to Perth, 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Ho Chi Minh City, 2 a.m.
Oh, I love Ho Chi Minh.
Kathmandu,
Kathmandu. Nepal.
Yeah, quarter
What a
to
great
one.
spot. Quarter to 1.
it's an odd time.
It is a weird time. But it's a weird country, Luke. Yeah.
They're all got altitude sickness and it's thin air
Well,
out there.
they're very, very good at high altitude, Luke. Unlike
Right.
us,
Oh,
we
no.
struggle.
I struggle at sea level.
Yeah.
Man, we're looking at Istanbul, Turkey.
Istanbul, Turkey.
10.
Constantinople, Luke.
Oh, really?
It used to be called Constantinople.
Really? Why'd they change it?
Because Constantinople is a Christian
Too long?
name. No, it's a Christian name, Luke, and they're in an Islamic country. And Constantinople was a Christian emperor, named after a Christian emperor. And of course, when the Muslims were in charge, they changed it over to
And
Istanbul.
you know the croissant?
Yes, Luke, I do. Very delicious.
Do you know where it came from?
Did it come from Turkey?
Came from Austria.
Did it
They
really?
were celebrating the Turks. That's why it's the crescent moon.
Is that right?
There you go.
We need to change the name of this podcast to
no.
Pointless Information.
Oh,
Pointless facts about shit.
made up shit on the F1 podcast. We'll find out one useless fact. I think there is heaps of
Yeah.
fact podcasts out there that do an incredibly good job, like
That's
QI.
true. But we could well, opposed to QI, we could give you 99%
Made up.
made up shit, and we drop in a bit of fact.
So
And
we
you've got to,
start with a fact,
yes,
and then we talk bullshit for the rest of it.
and you've got to find the fact amongst the bullshit, like a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the
I
name
like
of the
that
podcast.
idea. Needle in a haystack. It's not a crime thing. People come in, tuning in for crime,
Yes,
and they'll come in.
but that's a popular search.
They
on
do.
podcasts.
And
See,
then we will
might-
lure them in
we'll get a lot of
with
traffic.
useless facts and bullshit.
Thinking you're going to get a mystery, a murder mystery, but you get a couple of idiots talking shit.
We talk a lot of shit. 9 p.m. for Damascus.
Oh, sorry, just whacked the
Jesus.
microphone.
It's with your
Sorry.
knee. I hope that's your knee. The next one is 8 p.m. for Stockholm in Sweden.
Yep.
Lisbon. It
Lisbon.
is 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Timbuktu.
Timbuktu, where is that, mate? I have no idea where that is.
Don't care. Guyana.
Yep.
3 p.m.
3 p.m.
in the afternoon. New York City. Mexico Grand Prix was already on at 2 p.m. Chicago,
Oh, the Windy City.
the Windy City,
Yeah, the
also
Bears.
known as Pete's Ass,
Pizza.
is 1 p.m. Los Angeles.
Why are the Bears always so bad? The NFL team, they're always bad.
This is so windy. It's difficult to kick
The
ball
Packers
over.
always smash them. I don't think I've ever seen the Bears beat the Packers.
See, the Packers are used to wind. Chicago aren't. I don't know.
Anyway.
Green Bay's in Green Bay. It's Wisconsin. They got nothing better to do. Chicago, there's other things to do.
Yeah.
Like, let's do something else. No. Mexico City Grand Prix, 11 a.m. for Los Angeles. That's a nice time for them.
It is good.
Yeah, so that's all the race times
Yes.
for this weekend's Mexico Grand Prix.
Fantastic, Luke. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an absolute ripper. We need to talk to Sebastian Vettel, Luke. Oh, by the way, time for a 3/4 podcast sell.
Okay.
I was going to say mid-sell, but this is a 3/4 podcast sell. good news.
It's like an afternoon tea cell.
Like an afternoon. Yep, we've got the butterscotch, we've got a cup of tea, and we've got Dan Ricardo coming up, folks. So get comfy. We've got tea, we've got butterscotch, and we've got Dan. Mr. Personality, on this very podcast. I tell you what, Luke, no one punches above their weight like this podcast.
No one over promises and underdelivers is more than us.
We definitely do that. Toto Wolff is also on this podcast.
This is how we're going to end. We're going to end on such a high.
Yeah. I can't wait to get to Dan. He's on hold. Can you see that flashing red light? That's Dan. Don't hang up on him. You did that last week, you idiot.
That was you.
Oh, sorry.
Remember you thought it was Toto?
Well, this time we've labelled it. We've got a little sticky note that says, do not hang up on Dan.
Thanks to producer Pete.
Thank you. He's worth his weight in gold, isn't he? He's worth his weight in epiladies.
He can lift more weight than he weighs.
Yes.
He's a strong man.
The amount of hair, the bags of hair that he pulls out of his body every week.
From that epilady.
From that epilady. Let's speak to Sebastian. He's on hold. I'm sure he's always colourful.
Hi, guys. Hi. What's going on? It's me, Sebastian Vettel, 4-time world champion, whatever.
Sebastian?
Get over it, guys. Whatever.
Have you thought about breaking in maybe taking over Robert Kubic's job?
Oh, as like a COVID tester and stuff? Like putting my fingers in someone's anus? I'm a heterosexual guy, look.
No, I just thought...
I've never, ever put my finger in another guy.
But other parts. But like you could do testing.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
I think you test. Do you have, that sense, that secret sense that you've got in your nose and lips? That are you a super taster?
Look, I am the most heterosexual guy you've ever met in your life. So I don't even want to think of another guy's anus. Okay, I've got my hands full with my own anus.
You seem to have your hands full now while talking about it.
I have an epilady in my hand. Have you seen my epilady?
No.
It's fantastic. Oh God, look, you got to try it.
This podcast is sponsored
This
by
is
Epilady.
Producer Pitt's.
He sent it
Producer
over.
Pitt's epilady. It's industrial. It's got, normal epilaties are like electric. This one is petrol.
Petrol. Fair enough.
It's heavy duty. I know some guys, in fact, Judy.
Jiggling Judy. You know about Jiggling Judy? How the hell did it get out so quickly?
The reason
A lot of people listen to this podcast.
Giggling Judy, she's a hairy lady. She used to be working as a circus as the hairy lady. They would bring her out.
Now she's smooth.
Now she's smooth Judy.
Very aerodynamic.
She is silky, smooth Judy. So, I lost my train of thought. What am I talking? Oh, I've got an epilady and I'm going to bleach. I've got a whole thing of ritual because this is my ritual before I do the Formula One weekend.
Okay.
I like to spend some time with myself, just concentrating
Not with the wife?
just a mirror, some bleach, an epilady.
And the kids?
Yeah, of course. A picture of my wonderful wife, who's definitely not butch, who's definitely my wife.
Definitely your wife.
Not a show, not a token wife. She's a real lady.
She's not a beard.
She's a bearded lady, sure,
Has a
whatever.
bit of a beard.
And my kids, a little Ricky, little Alonzo, little Shumi. See, I remembered this week, didn't I?
You did.
I didn't forget. So I normally
Is
forget.
there a fourth one on the way?
No. No. And I like to just concentrate and, just spend some me time, like to meditate.
Do you have any incense burning?
Incense, meditation, masturbation, just like to get the bleach, epilady, and that's the way I get ready
Do you
for
get your personal trainer and
for the
masseuse?
weekend. Look, I invite Dave and the boys over just to get, massage, loosen up the muscles, and just get into the vibe. So that's what I'm doing, yeah. So I'm just in the zone right now.
You seem very relaxed, very calm.
I've actually got a guy in the bedroom waiting for me.
Just for a massage.
You wouldn't know what that's like.
I
You wouldn't know what it's like to have someone waiting in the bedroom for you.
No, not at all.
But I do.
You do. You're a lucky man.
And he's a lovely guy. He's very handsy. Very good massage. So I'll probably just, after this very stressful podcast.
What kind of massage does he specialize in?
Is milking. He's very good at...
Prostate milking?
Yes. No, look, I'm a heterosexual guy.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. I'm the most heterosexual guy you've ever met, Luke. Fuck, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so I'll go in there and relax, detox, grab a bit of cocks. And then I'll be ready for the weekend.
You're a heterosexual man.
Yeah,
I
I'm
appreciate
heterosexual.
your time.
Thank you, Luke. God. All right, guys. Thanks very much. I'll see you later. Bye. That's Sebastian Vettel. Always a nice addition to the podcast. What a guy.
He's a man.
He's a man's man. He's the kind of man. He's the kind of man you invite to a footy night. You know, get the mates up, maybe play some cards, poker.
Really? You'd invite him to a man's night in?
Yep.
He's quite the man.
Yep. He's
Make
the
you
man.
feel like a man.
He's a man's man. Loves poker. Loves to poker.
Poker.
So I think we've got Toto Wolff on the line as well. Look, I
straight
can't
up.
believe this. What are the odds, Luke? We've got some big people. All right, well, we better talk to... And then Dan Ricciardo,
Just after that.
just straight after Toto. We better get to Toto first. Toto, can you hear us? This is FM1 Podcast.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Hi, Toto. Thanks for joining us on the podcast.
You're welcome.
Thanks. It's amazing you spend so much time with a little podcast like this, considering how few downloads we get. We really appreciate your time.
You know, this constitutes as
Charity
work.
Charity work. Thank you, Toto. We appreciate all the charity work that you do.
I hear you have your own charity that I'm actually taking part of, the Handjobs for the Homeless.
Yes.
We've done 50 today.
Oh, wow. Thank
Just
you.
in Mexico, there's a lot more to do.
Thank you. Yeah, we set up the tent outside the Grand Prix track, invited all the homeless over.
There's the COVID testing tent, and then there's the Handjobs for the Homeless tent.
That's right. So you're going for a test, you go see Robert
It's like
Kubica.
hands across America, but hands across
Hands
the homeless.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. And how was it in there? Busy work?
Listen, I had both hands working very hard.
Yep.
Had my
Got your hands full?
some of them were quite well endowed. There was some other little ones. You kind of pay a little bit of attention, a little bit of head work.
Yep.
Not a lot of shaft to work with, but just quick spit, get your job done, and then move them on for the next person.
Get in and get out.
It's
like-
about efficient.
I guess it's very much like a pit stop, isn't it? Like do you time yourself to see how fast you can knock out each homeless person?
Listen, my technique
Yep.
is quicker than Red Bull's pit stops.
Wow, that's impressive. And do you have all your stuff on stamp? Normally you got the guns to change the tires, and you got the what kind of equipment have you got on standby for the quick?
Listen, we have a little rubber bullet that I can just put under the tip of the penis. Then we've got the lube station. See, they come in. We use sanitizer on the penis first. It burns a little, but it's a good burn.
It's a heavy burn.
Good burn. It's like putting chili on your penis.
Oh, deep heat. Have you ever tried that? Yeah.
Deep heat also gets the blood flowing, gets them anticipating what's going to happen.
Yes.
Then we put the little bullet under the head of the penis just to give a little bit of vibration.
Just a little vibration.
Then I've got this technique where I twist and pull.
Twist and pull.
And then in no time, these they haven't had a release for quite some time, so it's quite easy and quick to get the job done.
It's a full load.
Some of the colors that come out is all beautiful rainbow colors. Not a lot of white, but a lot of yellow and green and pink.
Old spunk.
A lot of old,
like Old Spice.
yeah, a lot of old spunk. Plenty of rainbow colored discharge.
Yes.
And some of these men we refer to the health clinic afterwards. I listen. You should probably check this out. This is not a normal color.
What do you do with all the discharge? Do you keep it? Do you put it in a bag, or what do you?
When we put the tires on.
Yep.
Like when we give the discharge, the excrement, the man,
The lube.
pudding.
Yes.
We put it in a big jar and we send it to Pirelli. So when they want to put the tires on, they need to use a lubricant that will actually get the tire over the rim.
Yep.
And then it just sticks in there. So it slides on and then sticks on, and then when we inflate it, then it's fine.
Fantastic. What a great use of resources.
We're not, we're looking for zero carbon emissions. We want to be very forward-thinking, recycling, and all of these things. So this is just another step that Formula One is taking to make it a worldwide brand that shows that we're very we're thinking about the environment and we're about reusing and recycling.
Carbon
very
neutral,
important.
Carbon neutral, spunk neutral, just using it all into different ways. That's remarkable.
The efficiency that I put into my wrist work then pays off by how quickly Pirelli can put the tires on.
Yeah, and it's the German attention to detail, or the Austrian in your case, the attention to detail.
It's a technique that my father showed me, that his father showed him.
Passed down
just to quickly
generation.
Get the bullet, give it a rub,
Yep.
twist and pull, twist and pull, twist and pull, and done.
Done.
If it's not done, maybe dickle the balls a little bit, just a little bit of a chickle, and then under, and round, and then boom, he's done.
Done.
Wipe him off. Next. Put it in the jar.
Yep.
Next man,
Next.
please.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Listen, I'm happy to show you the technique anytime.
Absolutely. I can't wait for as soon as this is finished. We've got some stuff to do. We've got Dan Ricardo to come as well.
You've got Dan Ricardo this time.
Dan Ricardo's on the podcast.
You don't mind if I stay on and listen?
No, please. That'd be amazing. I'd love. Maybe you could ask him some questions.
Of course I will.
Fantastic.
See if he's got an open contract.
Yeah. Do you want to pick him up?
Maybe.
Okay, that'd be fantastic. Thoughts this weekend? You got some work to do for Lewis?
I'm having dinner tonight with my wife.
Good.
Oh, you mean racing?
Racing? Any racing thoughts?
Listen, what I hope to do is Mercedes 1-2,
Yep.
Hamilton,
Yep.
Bottas.
Yep.
Bottas, maybe pushes an unfortunate Max Verstappen into a wall.
Okay.
And that is where I see the weekend happening.
Fantastic. Look, thank you so much for joining us, Toto.
You're
Wolff.
very welcome. Say hi to Daniel for me. Listen, I have to run and jerk off some more homeless people.
Perfect. Thank you. Enjoy that technique. And thank you very much, Toto Wolff, for joining us on F1 Podcast.
Thank you, Toto.
Wow. How about that? Toto Wolff. I didn't know he had that technique. Passed down from generation. That is
It'd be weird seeing your dad.
jerking you off.
No, just showing you. Say, listen, this is how you do it in the quickest way possible. It's,
It's a nice thing to pass down from father to son.
Would you do it to your son? Show him.
I would think about it. I would definitely think about.
All right.
Well, if he's going to make a living, out of it, if it's part of, why not? You pass down skills
All
like
the jobs would be automated.
how
So
do you use a knife and fork. This is how you use a knife and fork.
Yeah.
This is how you ride a bike. This is how you jerk yourself off. This is just the way that fathers.
this is a part of life.
Often men are.
You don't want to learn from a stranger on the internet.
No, and men are very guarded about their emotions, Luke. Men don't get in touch,
So
and they
you-
don't have those conversations with their sons.
And you can explain why you cry after you ejaculate.
Correct. It's
in touch with
okay
your
to be a
emotions.
man and cry, Luke. It's okay to be a man telling a son how to jerk off. That's all right. And it's a safe space now. Times have changed.
Yeah, they
Luke.
have. It's
Times have changed.
2021.
It's 2021. Before we go,
Yes.
we have to say thank you to your lovely mum,
Thanks, Mum.
Mrs. Luke.
When she's just listened to all that just to hear
Oh,
this.
God. Did she listen? She doesn't listen anymore, does she?
That's right, Mum. Dad didn't show me. I learned it all myself.
Yep. He learned it all himself.
Through
and there was-
educational online tutorials.
And Father Gary from St. John's Primary School. He did a lot of wonderful work with your son, showing him the ins and outs,
Getting flashbacks.
being a man.
No, Father. No. No.
The Catholic Church. So wonderful.
How are they still going?
I don't know. Great babysitters. Trustworthy babysitters. Thank you very much, Mrs. Luke. Look at this spread. What do we got here? We got some all sorts of Mexican treats. We got, what is that? A quesadilla?
That's a quesadilla.
A
That's
taco?
Yes.
An enchilada? We've got
Beans.
Beans.
Plenty of beans.
Lots of guacamole. Very nice.
Holy guacamole.
Holy guacamole. Very nice. What sort of desserts do they do in Mexico, Luke? 'Cause I don't see many desserts on this table that your mother has beautifully supplied for us.
Mum's not good at desserts.
No, she never has been.
No, it's not been her strong
No, she's definitely a savoury gal.
Anything that's microwavable, she's very good at.
Yeah, if it's got cheese.
Yeah, I'm like, you could use, you could make a wrap in a tortilla with chuck some ice cream on it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, delish.
Chocolate.
It turns into a crepe, doesn't it?
Yeah. See? Smart thinker, my mum.
Well done, Mrs. Luke. What a beautiful, wonderful mother you have. You're very lucky. Have you called her recently?
Oh, I saw her last week.
Good. You should call her. She does complain about the fact that you don't call her enough, Luke. Just drop her a line. Just tell her that you're okay. She worries. she worries you're not eating right.
What's your name again?
She worries about
I'm your favourite.
Yep.
I just tell her that.
She worries that you're wasting away because you've lost so much weight, you're shredding, and you're not, you know.
Well, you know.
And she's going to miss you when you move.
She will.
She's going to miss you
Of course she will.
when you go to New Zealand /WA.
Slash,
When you hit
who
the
knows?
mines.
Who knows where?
Who knows where you're going to be, Luke? Who knows?
Timbuktu, Nepal,
Ooh, lovely.
Kathmandu,
Kathmandu, top of Nepal.
top of the world.
Yep.
I'll be on an 8,000 metre peak going, welcome to the Effing One podcast. Podcast. It'll start an avalanche.
And you'll pass out.
And our podcast will kill a whole bunch of people.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Yeah, set off a chain of events.
That was global warming, not me.
Kills an entire
Me.
village.
Me.
F1 podcast. Kills an entire village.
F1 podcast.
Thanks, Luke.
Thank you, Adam.
Oh, crap. Forgot Dan.
That light's not flashing
Oh,
anymore.
no, Dan. We forgot Dan Ricardo.
Again?
Yep.
Did we forget or did he hang up?
Oh, he might have hung up on us. We need to do him at the top of the show. The top of the podcast. Straight up. Straight up. Can we just have Dan at the top of the show?
All right, we'll try.
All right, we'll do that next week.
Okay.
Enjoy the race. Bye.
Bye.